things through. If I could change my field of view, maybe I'd end up with you. I can't recall things I said, so I'm blaming you instead, 'cause that's the last thing I can do. I know that I'll make you believe, I know that I can't let you leave me alone, me alone. I know that my timing's not right, but I can be sure that tonight you're not alone, you're not alone.
There it is. All right. What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. I wanted to start off today's live stream with a crazy-ass story. So for those of you that live in the U.S., we had a crazy hurricane that went up through Florida into the Carolinas and all the way through, like, Ohio, and then I think parts of, like, Michigan, I want to say. Like, it literally just went up the whole East Coast. Sorry, not Michigan. It went up through, like, Pennsylvania. And I think, like, part of the storms even hit, like, New York. So, real quick, we were on this river, and it was crystal clear. Dude, it was wild. Crystal clear. I fished it for over 20 years. I've seen floods. I've fished in floods. I've walked and been in this river for a long time. Anyways, these are our fishing cabins, right? My dad and I bought the fishing cabin because we go all the time and we Airbnb it. It's one of the investments we're in. And it's completely underwater. Like, literally, I think at one point it was quite literally completely underwater. The water came up 31.5 feet. Pretty unreal. So, just a little story, because I know I was kind of absent last week. I actually lost my phone in the river as well. We were fishing in the flooded waters, and actually, like, accident aside, I just had a kind of a stupid moment, and my phone fell out of my pocket, went in the water. I actually jumped in after it. Not very smart, don't do that, but came out okay. Could not find it. The water was like chocolate milk. But yeah, just wanted to share that. What a crazy experience. I think the water was up 20-something feet by the time we left. The flood sirens were going on, and like 5 hours later, it went up another 10 feet. Had we would have stayed, truck would have been underwater. We would have been kind of trapped. Probably would have been okay, but, you never want to be in a floody situation. So anyways, just wanted to share a little story. So what the hell is Bitcoin doing? I guess I'll start today with Bitcoin, then we can go into the S&P and everything else. Probably not going to be a very long one today, I'm not going to lie. So, last week, I guess I'll start with the weekly. Last week, we ended up putting in a new high. Lots of excitement. Almost like a start of a new uptrend. We finally broke the kind of lower high scenario. My thing was, yes, we broke the high, right? We broke out of 56K, or excuse me, we broke out of 64K. I don't know why I got that backwards. 64, 65K. We really need to break 70K to really get out of this area, because you can see it clearly. I mean, just a clear diagonal through here. I think the highs are here now that I'm looking at it, now that I've had a chance to look at it. Guys, I don't know about you. LOL, all the live streams never go long. They usually go about 30 minutes to an hour. So I don't know if any of you guys have Verizon, but there's like a huge Verizon outage. I don't know if it's... Oh, I finally have service again, so maybe it's fixed. But I haven't had service all day, so I haven't been really looking at charts. I've been outside training the dog, one of the dogs. He's going through rigorous training, and I'm giving it to him. It's actually really cool to see his progress. But anyways, I really think we need to break 70K now that I'm looking at it. It looks like a pivot point, especially on the weekly. If we go to the daily, now on the daily, this is where I can see, like, yeah, breaking out of 65K was huge. I also believe that breaking out of 65K is huge. The problem now is we're turning it into what looks like deviation, right? Volume's still relatively low, so maybe our support is lower. But my issue is, well, one, we have it acting as support here. We have it acting as resistance here. It was support, ended up bouncing before breaking down. So 65K is clearly a pivot point. Why did we just lose it if that's clearly a pivot point? Especially with low volume, you'd expect a lot more volume on something like this. But points aside, my thoughts right now, it doesn't look good. Right, last week we had this breakout. Unfortunately, it was on lower volume. I was watching that completely. Flood aside, I was watching that. I was I was celebrating it. We were actually long at 62.7, I believe. I got stopped out just sub 64. We took one trade today, ended up getting kind of chopped out. So I'm just kind of staying away from it. I have a couple different theories. One being this is acting as deviation. And that's not good for anybody. That's not good for bulls, and it's really not good for bears because I don't think you'll get a short opportunity. I think we'll just nuke all the way back down. The second issue, and if you want to know what deviation looks like, a great example is almost like something like this, where you kind of invalidate above a prior resistance, trying to make it future support, and then we just completely retrace the candle and then rip lower. Was it because Coinbase withdrawals issue? I've never even heard anything wrong with Coinbase. I don't think that's going to make the market tank. One day of withdrawal issues isn't a big deal. Plus, wouldn't that mean that people can't take money off, so they wouldn't be selling? What's up, Cole? Watch for that daily close for bullish divs. Think if we form, make another move to 66, 66.5, then probably see that move to 58. Maybe. My problem is, and I saw some of your tweets today. I did like your couple tweets about the 4-hour divergence, which I'm all on board for, but this is my problem. Our daily's deviating. So, maybe we like come back down, retest, and head lower, if that's what you mean. But it doesn't look good. If this is a confident breakout, this should have stopped somewhere in here. I mean, we should have done this if we are going to continue higher. And we have now invalidated this prior resistance into support, and now it's just resistance again. So lower time frame aside, and I'm with you. I see the divergences. I see exactly what you're talking about. My issue now is the daily. The dailies, I mean, we still have 3 hours left. We could change a lot, right? If we get back into this 64K area, that's huge. That's kind of what I was banking for on the trades earlier, but I got chopped up, unfortunately. But if we get back into 64, it's starting to look a little different, right? Now we're starting to stay within support. Yes, we wicked below, but we know this is crypto and that stuff happens. Yeah, so really when it comes down to, I'm with you, daily close. Yeah, daily close is going to change a lot of stuff. Hidden bearish divergences on the daily. I don't see any bearish divergences on the daily. I mean, we made higher highs this whole way, and so did RSI. I don't see any issues here. If you're basing this and this, you can't. There's too many candles in between. But my other thought, and this is my bullish thought, this is why I was longing a couple times today. I ended up break even. I took one loss, took a $200 loss, which is I think that's a 0.1% total loss. No, it's a 0.05% total loss. I can't do math. I trade with, huh? Oh, what's up, Colin? How you doing, man? I trade with a little bit of size. I don't really. So a $200 loss. I mean a 0.015 or something like that. Something really small. But this is what I'm seeing on the 4-hour, and we've seen this happen before, where you have this kind of upwards consolidation to continue higher. A big note of that are these bullish divergences. But my issue is this daily. This is daily resistance, right? We shouldn't be below it. We should be holding true. I mean, we could do something like this, right? But I don't like that we're below it. We need to get back in it. If we could get back in it, so this next 4-hour candle, this next 4-hour candle, as a nice move, we get back in, we close the daily somewhere in here. Okay, now we can talk about continuing that consolidation. Guys, a good example, and I gave this to patrons this morning. And I know for some of you, you're like, oh, he's giving multiple scenarios, so he's right no matter what. No, I'm not doing that. But as a trader, you have to be able to play both sides of the coin. And if I see signs of continuation, get along, right? I'm going to do that. I'm going to long. If I see a short set up, I'm going to take a short. Right. Currently, I'm not in anything. I am in spot positions, but those I've had for almost 2 years. So here's your example of this kind of like upwards consolidation, and why upwards consolidation: to build bullish divergences, to bring RSI back to the middle point, so that you can ultimately continue higher. That's why that's so important. So if we compare, the two. And actually, let me grab this 4-hour. You compare the two, you do have some similarity, right? You're consolidating upwards. You know, maybe we're potentially trying to hold some other hidden support level, but again, I don't like how we've fallen through the daily. But if we bounce up to here, I'm saying consolidation, right? Even if it looks like a double top, I don't think it'll play out as a double top. We had something similar over here. Likely be consolidation as long as we continue to put in these higher lows, right? That'd be good. And we can take another long position, even if it's slightly higher from where I got stopped out from my original entry at 62.7. I'd be fine with that. I want the confidence. Plus, that next move higher will probably be like 10-15%. We'll make a bunch of money off of it. Yeah, that's what a lot of people don't understand. You plan for both ways, so you're ready for whatever happens. Yeah, exactly. And you change your plan as the market changes. It's what's unbelievable to me is you have all these, and I'm just going to say like spectators on Twitter. You have people that post analysis and you have spectators on Twitter. I guess post analysis and trade. And, you know, one day, like I did 4 or 5 days ago, I said, we have a breakout. This looks good. Yes, volume's not as high, but, you know, I don't see any divergences. I don't see a short setup. I don't see really a lot of issues here. Plus, I believe we were over the 200 daily. Bollinger Band, or not Bollinger Band, moving average. Yeah, we got over the 200 moving average a couple days ago. So, lots of good stuff happening, right? And now today, now that we're trying to fall back under the 200, showing this kind of deviation, yes, I'm going to flip and say, all right, now I'm looking for a short setup. So, maybe not the greatest example, but we're also at resistance. I have a hard time saying, oh, yes, long at resistance or near resistance. I mean, if in a perfect world, you long here, right? You take longs here and you short here in a perfect world. Obviously, crypto is not perfect. There's signs of continuation. There's short setups. There's long setups, all in between. But now that we're sitting basically at macro resistance after deviating through it, because it seems like we're going to close today below it, you kind of have to flip short-term bearish. You have to. Honestly, it's a great comparison. Glad you liked it. It's like, it's kind of funny. Like, things in trading change so fast. Like, even on a daily chart, a daily can flip so fast. Right? Maybe you have divergences that form. Maybe you have invalidations. Maybe something news related pushes us up, which is really what happened over the last couple weeks, which is why I was really hesitant to take longs, but we saw the continuation, and we saw an opportunity, we ended up taking it. But with any news-based pump, if you guys know me, they're very hard to want to take, because we always know, or not all, I wouldn't say always, but they generally retrace back to where they started. So, thoughts for Bitcoin? Unfortunately, guys, I am probably 70% more bearish than bullish in the short term, and that has everything to do with this daily and failing to hold this as support. Now, over the next couple days, or even over the next 24 hours, if we start to bounce back into it and start seeing consolidation, then I'm going to take a long, right? Even though I don't really like taking longs at resistance, I'm going to take a long there. We just need to see that, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Continuation. I need to turn off some of this bot stuff. Buck Wild. Yeah, also daily looks more like 4 lower highs to me. Yeah, I mean, that too. It's hard to... This middle high matters. I don't want to say it doesn't. But you have you still have kind of lower highs. I was hoping we'd get some change. I was hoping we'd see more strength and more volume come in, and we did not. Unfortunately, hope does not work, or having hope in trading does not go hand in hand. But real quick, we covered Bitcoin for 20 minutes. Let's do the macro market kind of update. Guys, just a heads up, I am going to be out of town basically the rest of the week. I have a wedding I'm going to. And then next week, I'm going to the South Carolina-Alabama game. My brother goes to Alabama. I went to South Carolina. So it's going to be huge. My dad's coming too. So I will be out Thursday, Friday. So I guess I will be live streaming Monday, Wednesday. And then the week after that, I go back to Virginia to see if the river. We're gonna try and. I wouldn't say fix the house, but at least evaluate damage. Probably fix some minor stuff, but have the last fishing trip of the year. So my October's pretty packed. So if I'm not live as much, I do apologize. Just know these are pre-planned trips. So, but you guys will have me all winter. I have pretty much nothing planned. So S&P monthly, that should be hype. Oh, dude. Oh, the game, dude, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be pretty sweet. My girlfriend's only been to one college football game, and I took her to South Carolina, Tennessee last year, and we were expected to lose. We were expected to get crushed. It was right when Tennessee beat Alabama, and dude, South Carolina beat Tennessee by 40 points. We stormed the field with, like, all the students and, like, all the rest of the fans. It was awesome. Her first game. Can you imagine that? Like, historic event. Will there be a morning brew for next Thursday and Friday? Thursday, yes. Friday, no. So basically from Wednesday on this week, there will be no morning brew, no live streaming. You guys know I only live stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then we will have the morning brew all of next week except for Friday. And then the week after that, I think just Thursday and Friday, no morning brew, but I have to double check. I have to do a double check. Yeah, it was insane. It was nuts. Still want to get to a college football game? Dude, you can go to an SEC football game. It's nuts. It is so much fun. There's a couple of northern schools that, like, Ohio State's pretty good. Michigan's pretty good. Like, I don't know, man. College football is just so much better than pro. Like, there's just so much, like, such a better atmosphere. I don't know. It just feels cleaner. And honestly, it feels, like, more competitive to me. It feels less, like, rigged, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, S&P 500. Guys, I really don't have any problems with this chart. This looks like it's just going to go up to oblivion until we see otherwise. We've said for the last 2 years, up. It's time to go up. And we have been. And a lot of that's confluence from the DXY. You have the dollar consolidating in a bear flag on the weekly, right? Consolidating, likely to continue lower. We've been in this downtrend from this double top. We confirmed the double top here. Now we're consolidating to relieve lower time frames and likely go lower. My only concern, yes, I guess we do have some bearish divergences forming. We open up the daily and it's a pretty clean bear flag, right? Divergences aren't always going to play out. SL 700F, we went over Bitcoin for the first 20 minutes. I'll go over it again for another 5 just to refresh my views, but for the first 20 minutes, we went over Bitcoin. Usually we go over Bitcoin towards the middle / I wouldn't say end, but towards, like, the middle. Free stuff is nice, thank you. Just don't pay for the leverage trade calls. It's not worth it. Okay. Sounds good. Even though most of the trades this year have been pretty profitable. All right. Let's continue on. So, I did want to look at Total 1 and Total 3. I didn't really spot anything new on Total 2. Specifically referring to the weekly charts. So, my biggest thing here is there's clearly a difference in strength between Total 3 and Total 1, which Total 1 is mostly represented by Bitcoin. The biggest one is you have a pretty clean double bottom here. Break, volume moving higher. Kind of a retest. It's not like we're failing. It's not like we're deviating. Total 1 showing a lack of strength, right? Total 3 for the last several months since June, July, making equal lows. Total 1, not so much with lower lows. So there's a clear difference in strength over the last not 6 months. I want to say last 3 to 4 months between these two charts. And I almost wonder if we're going to have an alt season early. You know, we've talked about that on, I think, Friday's live stream. Or no, Wednesday's live stream a week ago. It wouldn't have been Wednesdays. It would have been Mondays because I was out Wednesday. So on Monday, we talked about if we get an alt season, which I still don't think we're ready for. I don't think it'll be an actual alt season. I think alts will do, or at least have a very lackluster performance. And a lot of that's because there's not enough money in the market yet. There's not enough liquidity. Bitcoin's not above highs. There's no hype. No one's in it. Right? If you want to see these alts move, we need to see liquidity in the market. And this is something I really don't want to see. I don't want to see Total 3 having a better, stronger advantage over Total 1. I'd like to see Bitcoin and Ethereum outperform the rest of the alt market for quite a while. Now, of course, you have an AI narrative or the AI narrative, and Tao's pumping ridiculously. Fetch is doing pretty good. Solana's doing okay. Link's doing all right. Pyth's doing pretty good. So there's always that. You know, maybe it's just the AI in the AI space doing well. But I want to see Bitcoin gaining strength over the next several weeks, because if not, and I'm going to show you it very quickly, you open up the Bitcoin Dominance Daily, and what does it look like we're forming? It looks like we're forming a head and shoulders. And I have it drawn out just to show everyone, to give you the example. If this pattern plays out, like if Bitcoin Dominance drops all the way down to like 56.5, 56.7%, 56.7%, we're forming a neckline. We bounce all the way to, what is this, 57.7, and we stop there. We formed a right shoulder. Now, for a lot of you, you're like, oh, great, alt season, that sounds awesome. That's not good. That means that we never even got a bull market, and we're about to see the most lackluster altcoin movement you've ever seen, and I bet you that 99% of these coins won't even move. I bet it'll be like the AI coins, and then you'll see like a 20% move from Ethereum, and that'll be it. Like, I'm telling you right now, I know, like, we don't really have control over what happens, but you do not want to wish for an alt season right now. Not in my opinion. You see any other market driver besides U.S. elections? Well, other than the fact that there's over $6 trillion in sideline capital that's pouring into the stock market because rates are going down. Yes, and that's something I've been saying for the last 6 months. I mean, we've had, essentially, if you have rates going down, that means that these money market accounts are going to make less money. So where are they going to move their money? They're going to come into crypto. They're going to come into the stock market, which is going to be great overall for the macro market movement. However, it's not going to make sense to a lot of people because they're going to say, oh, the economy's doing bad and all this. It's not the economy driving us. It is sideline capital driving us at this moment. At least in my opinion. And there's many factors that are driving, but when you have $6 trillion on the sidelines kind of starting to pour in, it's going to change a lot of things. And if some of that money reaches the crypto space, you could have a legitimate bull run. But until we get that, we have nothing at the moment. And just so you guys know, for anyone new, why would an alt season now be bad? Well, in the terms of money and liquidity flow, you have first Bitcoin moves first, right? Bitcoin breaks highs, goes to 100K, goes to 120, 150K. Then that money goes to Ethereum. And then Ethereum moves, right? Ethereum goes from 2 to 4 to 6 to 10 to 15K, whatever your target is. We'll just say that as an example. Then all of that money branches out into alts, other altcoins, right? Maybe the AI space, maybe the shitcoin space, right? Whatever it might be. And then that money kind of branches out into like meme coins and shitcoins. I know I put shitcoins here, but you get it. And then it all flows back into the dollar, and we start a bear market. Right? As people are now accumulating Bitcoin again during the bear market, market dumps, accumulation, then we start it all over again. That's pretty much what happens in every market everywhere. Even the stock market, first you have the S&P that runs, or the NASDAQ overall, and then you'll have like these really shitty tech companies that really aren't worth anything, just pump out of, crazy amounts because people have to put their money into something to continue making money or to offset expenses for tax liability, I guess. So 31 minutes in, I guess I'll look at Ethereum and then Tau, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't see anything real positive about Ethereum. We failed to break a macro resistance last week. While Bitcoin did break it, Ethereum didn't. 4 hour not. I guess we do have bullish divergences forming. Same with Bitcoin. I had this drawn from this morning. If we get it, we can take that trade. But it's been tough to trade this year, man. It has been really hard. We've spent 7 months in this crappy, choppy range with lots of deviation and lots of news-based moves. It's been pretty tough, especially as a swing trader. Or I guess really just as a swing trader. I know a lot of you trade ranges or whatever. I like the big swings. I don't really like trading ranges. I guess last but not least, Ethereum to Bitcoin. I just, unfortunately, I don't really see anything too positive here other than that we're bouncing at a kind of major confluent area of support. And here it acted as resistance. It's not going to go down in, one kind of sweep. If it even goes down, I would expect to bounce from here. Maybe do something like this. We'll see. Ethereum just kind of looks like shit. At some point it will move. But for now, it's just not doing it for me. So, all right. I went over Bitcoin for the first 20 minutes, but I'll just summarize before we close shop here. What are my expectations for any of you guys that are, I guess, new to the live stream? I normally don't cover Bitcoin first, but I felt it was important. My expectations, just looking at this, is that we're headed lower. We have a deviation. I believe volume's still pretty low-ish. Yes, we have higher lows on these short-term charts, but we have failed to stay above a macro resistance and retested as support, which to me is much more important than these lower time frame movements. But on the contrary, if we do remain to kind of put higher lows in, right? Higher lows, and continue consolidating in here, then we will look for a trade setup, right? I'll take a long. At the moment, and if we close this way, who knows if we will close this way? We still have 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours before close, so a lot can change. We technically do have bullish divergences forming. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. It doesn't really change a lot in the long run yet. We really need to reclaim this 65K area. Ethereum has been more lackluster than ever. That's actually not true. Ethereum is actually outperforming the 2020 bull run thus far. Bet you didn't know that. In 2020, Ethereum was still down like 80% at this point. And I can even prove that to you. So for people saying like Ethereum isn't doing anything, Ethereum sucks, Ethereum this happens every I guess quote unquote bull run. So let's go back to 2020. Actually, let's stay current. We'll do a current and then a 2020. And then we'll do this. So where are we? We are in for almost the first week of October, right? October 1st is tomorrow. So currently Ethereum is down. It'd be nice if I could draw. Ethereum is down 46.9%, so 47%. The first week of October in 2020, we were down July, September, 76%. You tell me that Ethereum's being lackluster, right? Ethereum is outperforming its prior bull run. What a lot of people don't do is put things into perspective. And I think it's very important to. So I know that there's a lot of Ethereum hate. I know there's other coins outperforming it now, but I'm telling you, there's going to be a 2 or 3 month stretch where Ethereum just blows everyone out of the water and goes from 2.6K to 10K. And it will catch everybody off guard. So if you own Ethereum, like if you have spot Ethereum, just keep holding it. The day is coming. All right, guys. I do have one update on the trading bot. So currently it's on Bitkit. So if you can use Bitkit, you can sign up and use the trading bot. It's returned, 8% per month over the last 5 years. The other thing, Blowfin. I know a lot of you are from the US and you can't use Bitkit. So Blowfin, we'll have the bot on Blowfin within the month, within some time in October. We're working out a couple things, testing a couple things. Unfortunately, with me being on kind of low-key vacations or trips, it'll probably take a little longer. So probably towards the end of October. But you all have access to it. You can start putting money into it. I always recommend you guys start small, and if you like it, then start to increase your size. But that's up to you. All right, guys, with all that said, hope you have a great rest of your day. I probably won't see you guys until next week. So always remember, be patient, use risk management.